with a full line of independent rear suspension options. The all-new Foreman Rubicon and Rancher automatic DCT models are equally ready to work and have fun. Part of the growing ATV family from Honda.
Hi, I'm Linda Kilgore. This is my 35th year with State Farm, my 25th year here in Campbell County. I'm not a high-pressure salesman. I like to just sit down with my customers and help them decide what's right for them. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
May 22nd through the 24th in Huntsville, Tennessee. The Woodstock of ATV and side-by-side events. Camp, ride, and compete. It's Brimstone's White Knuckle event. Come experience for yourself. Enjoy live performances by Parmalee, with Claire Dunn and Outshine. Call 1-800-BRIMSTONE or visit brimstonerecreation.com. Brought to you exclusively by
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor. Here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Are you missing out on extra Medicare benefits that you may be entitled to? Hi, my name is Blake McCoy with Independent Insurance Consultants. If you have Medicare A and B and have Medicaid, TennCare, Q&B, or receive extra help on your prescription, drug premium, and copays, I want to make sure that you are receiving all the extra benefits that you are entitled to. Call me toll-free today. 1-866-691-5571 and let me help you.
And we're back again. Ron's Golf Carts and Indoor Flea Market. That indoor flea market's called a Follett Indoor Flea Market. And folks, unless you actually go see, no matter how many times I say it or what I do, unless you go and see how he puts everything up, how it's cleaned up, how it's stored, the whole bottle of, you're not going to believe it. You won't believe it unless you see it for yourself. And everything is priced. You're not going to be guessing how much is this or how much is that. You're going to know because he has it priced. And you have plenty to, and tell them that Ariel sent you, and I greatly appreciate that. You're on the air.
Hello, Ariel.
How you doing? I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, you was talking about the sex offenders?
Yes.
And every time I read the paper, like Christian Journal, they get off of probation every time. They don't get no time out of it.
Probation, and have to pay a fine, and
that's it. That's all they did.
Like I say, the one guy that I know got 25 years for molesting his stepdaughter, supposedly. But now I want to say this and clarify something. A lot of people think, well, I'm accusing a lot of people. But I'm going to tell you something here just in a minute. But I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is so many of us is afraid of offending someone we know. We'd rather sit back and just let it go on than to offend someone and just let the child suffer the consequences.
That's the truth. They won't stand up for their kids anymore.
Well, even the neighbors. It's against the law. If I knew a person that is molesting a child or just mistreating a child, it's against the law. Now, I want to give you another example here in Campbell County, there's a couple that's, because their dog had the mange so bad, they've been arrested. Did you know that?
I believe that.
Well, and they took the dog away from them. The dog's in the animal hospital in Knoxville.
Now that I can believe, because they care more about the animals than they do kids anymore.
But I don't know. I just don't know. We are afraid, and it is dangerous. You know, I've been threatened many times, but hey, I've been doing this for 22 years. I'm working on my 23rd year, and I'm not going to change. I'm going to continue to do what I've done until I'm 75 anyway. When I just got 2 more years, folks, and I'm out of here unless my wife won't let me come home.
Oh, yeah. But, hey, R.L., you was right about the press. All they print in there is about sports and dentist tires, and that's about it.
But I mean,
used to have news in it.
I just don't understand how that they can. I mean,
I think they're afraid of offending somebody because they don't print no kind of news.
It is. It's. Yeah, I had people that I knew of for a long time because someone in their family was a sex offender. I made it an issue out of it. I didn't name who it was, but now that them people won't talk to me anymore.
Oh, well, that's okay. You got other friends.
Yeah, appreciate your call.
Well, here. Thank you, R.L.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You're on the air.
Hi, R.L. I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet.
Well, now, you're going in and out. Are you on a cell phone?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep it short tonight, but a lot of people don't call in about stuff like this because they themselves are ashamed. It's really hard for me. Hold on. This happened to me about 15, 16 years ago. And it's real hard to talk about. And there's a lot of folks around here that have been through it and were too ashamed to tell anybody and are too ashamed to talk about it. It kind of scares them. And that's probably why folks don't like to call in.
I understand, because they know people, they know friends, they know neighbors, or they know family, and they're going to recognize my voice. And did the person that did this to you, did they pay any kind of price?
No, sir, not at all. I was afraid for my life and afraid for my family. Of course, it was somebody in my family, but I was afraid for other people in my family.
Yeah.
But he did eventually do about 3 years for a completely different charge. So,
well, let me tell you an experience. You may have heard me talk about this before. Whenever I was about 8 years old or 9 years, I don't remember exactly the year because I was just a little kid and scared to death, me and my first cousin. This guy, when we were walking home from school, he attacked us, and he did actually rape my he was my first cousin, but I called him brother, and he called me brother because I didn't have any brothers or sisters to live with me, and they lived right next to me, and my uncle, and so their kids, we always became brothers. And in fact, about it, their kids all call me Uncle R.L. So anyway, this guy, he raped us, or tried to rape. He actually brought the blood out of my mouth, out the side of my mouth where he was trying to hold me. And anyway, one night, only person I told in the world was my wife. I told my wife when we got married. I don't know how long we've been married. We haven't been married long, but I told her about it. And anyway, one day about 20 years ago. I come home and she was standing in the bedroom door, and whenever I came in from work, she said the SOB, and she didn't use SOB, she just said, "He's dead." I said, "What are you talking about?" She's told me his name, and I said, "Well, that's a big relief now. I can talk about it."
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, next day or 2 or 3 days or whatever, I told my dad about it. And my dad started crying. And he said, "Why didn't you come and tell me so I could have killed him?" I said, "Dad, that's exactly why I didn't tell you. I didn't want you to go to prison over somebody that's that low."
Exactly.
And that guy did die in prison.
Yep. And that is justice enough for you.
Yeah, and so, but again, like I say, I know I've been there, and I know why people don't call whenever I'm talking about this subject. They say I talk about it too much. But whenever you see this kind of thing in the paper, and you're looking at 6 of defender, and every one of them was multiple times, and this one is, as said, and it is a next door neighbor with 4 kids, 7, 8, 10, and 12. And it was a next door neighbor that the guy was watching for his neighbors. Well, yeah. You know, and I know, at a 77-year-old man that's done that, he's done it. He's done it before.
Yep.
You can bet on.
You know, I don't think you talk about any one subject too much on here. But maybe you talking about it one night, some little kid hearing it, so their grandma or mom and daddy's watching it. Maybe they'll know that, you know, if I do tell on this person, ain't no harm gonna come to me, and they gonna get what they deserve.
Yeah, and can you imagine? I want to ask you this question, because I probably won't have anybody call me and talk, but a person that was soliciting people to bring him 11, 12, 13-year-old kids for sexual favors. Now, that happened here in La Follette probably 3 weeks, a month ago.
I read that story, and it got all over me.
Now, shouldn't the people that was bringing those kids to him also be in jail?
They should. It's I can't think of the name of it, but it's basically using a child for sex.
Right.
And the human trafficking is basically what it is.
Yeah, bring me them kids, and I'll pay you, and I'll take care of the kids. They might have been bringing those kids from Guatemala. You never know. You know, it's not going to be local kids.
No, but that made me feel.
So they should never have. But I'll guarantee you, they'll pay a fine. They'll be put on probation, and they'll have to go see their probation officer, or the probation officer more than likely will just call them and say, "Are you still in town?" You know, or whatever, and they get their money. It's so sad.
And that kid is left scarred for the rest of their life.
Right. Absolutely.
And found the therapy or forgetting, and most people that go through that they end up, and they don't have to, but they end up on drugs themselves.
Well, here's the thing about it is, if you had those 10, 11, 12-year-old kids that was bringing to that person for sexual favors, they're probably already drugged out big. They'll die by the time they're 20 years old, because whenever these people get through using them, they'll either kill them or they're so messed up that they're going to die very, very young.
Yeah.
They're not going to see their 30th birthday. But anyway, I sure appreciate you calling me and sharing your story with me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm willing to talk about anything, but I want to, so I can just keep going. on the computer this week, and I'm sure that there's several of you that actually seen this. They gave the 10 most dangerous states in America. 10 most dangerous states in America. Now, how many of you out there that can name, say, 5 of those states, or 6 or 7? You're going to be surprised where some of them's at. But the number one, I think, unless you've seen it, you're going to absolutely, it's going to be disbelievable. You're on the air.
Yeah, I know Tennessee was supposed to be one of the meanest states around the country there. They had that in the paper, you know. And,
yeah, I'm going to tell you some of the statistics on that in a minute, okay?
One of the crookedest states, too, for the politicians was Tennessee. We're talking about mayors, governors, all the way up to congressmen, you know.
Well, Tennessee is one of the highest of political crime.
Yeah, that's true.
It sure is.
They had that on TV and in the Knoxville paper. I read it myself, you know.
Yeah.
And when you get up so high in money, you know, you can, well, you know, all the stuff's been happening to the governors and different ones, not just governors, I'm not the congressmen, you know.
But, yeah, Tennessee is rated high in a political crime. It's it's in the top 10 of the 50 states in the United States.
Money's good if it's used right, but you know, it can be real dangerous. It's bad for people if it's used the wrong way, and I think sometimes, really and truly, that most people, it's got quite a bit that it's like a sickness. They think you just got to have more regardless how they get it. I claim me a local case.
Well, our governor is the richest politician in America.
Yeah, I can name one, but I'm not going to. It's you know, related even. But
and I don't know that our governor is done anything crooked or not. I have no idea. Because I said, you know, I would vote for him, and last time I did vote for him because he said, we're going to take this lottery money and we're going to allow every kid in the state of Tennessee that carries a C average is going to go to a 2-year college free. And there's no reason for any kid to say they're not going to go at least 2 years because of the cost, because the cost is not there anymore other than, and I'd say they'll get books before it's over with, or just the transportation to get there. But we have so many of our kids that graduate from high school that cannot go into college without taking extra classes just to get there because they can't pass the test.
Well, them can't read, spell, or write, you know.
That's true.
You know, and they just announced on the news tonight that all the billions of dollars that's been poured into Baltimore, and schools has gotten worse, they're getting better. So, you know, it's money is not everything. I mean, you know,
No.
It's money to get education, and but there's more to it than just throwing dollars, you know.
Unless we as grandparents and as parents don't get involved, the kids are going to do as little as they can do and get away with it.
There's a lot of people here in this county when they can go watch their own grandsons and their stuff graduate, and that's worked hard and it's done by for the rules and done good. And we had a former principal that's supposed to, very, very nice man and cares for the kids, and I hope they elect another one tonight. They're supposed to understand.
Right.
As good as him, you know, but you get a good one in, you got a handful wants to tear them apart, you know.
I agree with you.
When they want to be good to the kids and stuff, they don't want that. But you have a good day, all right?
I appreciate your call.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'd like for someone to just call and guess what state is the #1 dangerous state in America. most dangerous state in America. And I'll give you a hint. It's known as the one of, if not the most conservative state in the Union. Let's hear from somebody. Now, I don't know, Hazel Valley, you usually got the answers to these, and Mr. Henson usually has the answers to these. And then we're not. You're on the air.
Ariel, is it Missouri?
No. No, it's not Missouri.
Michigan?
No. Now, you can't guess all 50 states before you get there.
I know. Okay,
I'd like to get one or two more calls, because we got about 10 minutes till we got 30, and then we'll just have 30 minutes to go, and we'll just talk about anything you want to talk about, okay?
Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you. Somebody give me a call and tell me, and believe me, the most dangerous states in America has something in common. Out of the 10 most dangerous states in the Union has something in common. You're on the air.
Would it be Texas?
Nope.
Okay.
I had a lot to guess that last night.
Well,
But there's one guy here watching tonight that knows that, and I don't want him to call. Okay, thank you. Let's hear from one or two other, especially the average caller, or I'm not average caller, but the caller that calls me every week just about it. I'd like to hear from you and tell me what you think that the most dangerous state in America. You're on the air.
Colorado.
Nope.
Colorado.
No, not Colorado. It's not even close.
Well, it has to be one of the Dakotas then.
Nope. You're going to be so surprised when you hear it. Now, this was yesterday on the computer, and it had the 10 most dangerous states in America to live in, and I'm going to tell you it's okay? In a few minutes, I want...
Probably Illinois is one of them.
You're going to be surprised. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. You're on the air.
I think it's Tennessee.
Well, it's in the top 10. I'll tell you where it's at here in a little while, okay? But it's not the number one. Okay?
Is it number one?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're on the air.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Gibson.
Hey, buddy.
My guess would probably be it's somewhere in the southeast and possibly Kentucky.
Nope.
But
it's known as one of the most conservative states in the Union.
Okay, I'm not like I say, I hadn't kept up on it. But let me go back onto the subject that you was talking about, sexual molestation and whatever.
Okay.
That one of the biggest scandals that had to do with sexual molestation, what it was the Catholic Church.
Oh, God. You're not wrong on that one.
That thing went so deep and whatever. And the Catholic Church, I don't know how to understand it or comment on it. But whenever I see one thing, I ask another question. First of all, the higher up in the church knew about this stuff. They knew about the priest and whatever else.
Right.
And all they did was shift them from one group to another group.
Well, that's something else they did too. They paid out billions of dollars in fines.
That is correct. And they did not go to court either.
Right.
These are all out of court settlements. But whenever I heard Hannity was interviewing a priest down in on the border, and this was last year when all this thing was where we were being invaded, which we still are, of course. But anyhow, that priest stated, and he prepped it by saying, I might not should say this, but said money is no object to the Catholic Church. And he was talking about the aliens coming across the border. But what bothers me a lot of times, I look at TV and I see all the starving children all over the world and all this stuff, and the Catholic Church has no idea, or no one even knows the worth of the Catholic Church. They own properties, they own stuff, rental
properties,
high rises.
Right.
But nobody knows the value of it, the worth of it. So how is it that we have starving children, we have things all over the world going on, yet the church, and I'm going to include a lot of others with it, that have immense or put together untold amounts of wealth, but yet they beg to the working people out here constantly to give them money.
Absolutely.
There's something about it that does not add up. And anyhow, like I say, it's kind of like politicians that come out and go to begging for money when they're worth.
Well, I'm
sorry.
I'm going to give you something for instance, and I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, go right ahead, please.
But I'll forget if I don't. It's just like seeing a gospel a singer or a preacher coming down here to the church, and tickets were $30. That's just past me. I can understand a love offering or something, but actually buying tickets to go to church to hear a man preach or sing, it's just don't sit right with me.
Well, I can understand that, and these things, I tend to ask myself questions about these things, and this thing does concern me, and if someone can explain it to me, I'd be interested to hear an explanation for it, as to why this goes on, and it kind of, well, anyhow, I could go on about all kinds of things that I've read and tried to understand about it, but anyhow, on the most of any of that go wrong right now, our leaders have painted us into a corner with the laws that we cannot. It's just like in a situation like what you're talking about back years ago, and I'm saying several years ago back, there've been many a feud and whatever settled over certain things in certain ways that we don't accept anymore. And like, well, people that do these things, let me put it this way. Let's say instead of a guy being a sexual molester, let's say he crossed the mob or he crossed one of his drug dealers. What do you think would happen to him?
He's dead.
Okay, I didn't say that, but you see where I'm getting to?
Yeah.
There's ways that things would be taken care of in different situations. And your problem that I see in your sexual molestation type things is the people, the children and whatever who get molested, their parents and their whatever are law-abiding people. And it's just like what your dad said he would have done in that situation.
Yes.
You see, maybe your dad wasn't as law-abiding, you know what I mean?
He would have.
Well, back then, that's how you settle things. But anyhow, you're coming up on heartbreak. If you don't get any calls, there's another situation that I'd like to get a viewpoint on.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. If you live for the outdoors, there's a Polaris to match your passion. Confident, comfortable, capable. That's Ace. With a solo cockpit, automotive controls, independent suspension, all-wheel drive, and up to 45 horses of fuel-injected power. Calling it revolutionary would be an understatement. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Pierce. I may not be Jake from State Farm, but I do wear khakis. I've been here with Linda Kilgore's office for 2 years. I enjoy helping people make a decision regarding their insurance based on their needs and wants. I'm fully licensed. I enjoy selling auto, home, and life insurance. So feel free to come in or call in any time, and I'll be glad to help you.
May 22nd through the 24th in Huntsville, Tennessee. The Woodstock of ATV and side-by-side events. Camp, ride, and compete. It's Brimstone's White Knuckle event. Come experience for yourself. Enjoy live performances by Parmalee, with Claire Dunn and Outshine. Call 1-800-BRIMSTONE or visit brimstonerecreation.com. Brought to you exclusively by
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Are you missing out on extra Medicare benefits that you may be entitled to? Hi, my name is Blake McCoy with Independent Insurance Consultants. If you have Medicare A and B and have Medicaid, TennCare, QMB, or receive extra help on your prescription, drug premium, and copays, I want to make sure that you are receiving all the extra benefits that you are entitled to. Call me toll-free today. 1-866-691-5571 and let me help you.
Okay, we're back. Again, folks, you just need to go down to Ron's. Check out his indoor flea market. I know there's a lot of you drives everywhere and goes to flea markets. Well, this one's special. I'm serious. I don't go to flea markets very often, but this one I feel comfortable looking around in it because I don't have to embarrass myself to find out what something costs us. He's got it out there. You know what it is. So I advise you, if you like to shop and looking for good secondhand stuff and some brand new stuff, especially in clothing, go to Ron's. I guarantee you, tell him Ariel sent you. You're on the air.
Well, look, now we're going to hear these mean studies. I get off.
Thank you. You're on the air.
Well, according to FBI statistics, the worst place and the most dangerous place is Washington, D.C., and state would be South Carolina.
Absolutely.
I believe Tennessee, it was rated number 6.
I had it on the one that I looked at, it was number 5. I'll tell you what surprised me the most was Alaska.
Yeah.
but
I was when I was writing my article about Campbell County, I believe I have seen the Tennessee number 6. I mean, I might.
Yeah. Well, the one that I looked at was Phil, and you know where Tennessee rated as far as child molestation? They were number 2. I looked at Florida. Only Florida exceeded Tennessee in sexual offenders.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I know. Hey, I'm telling you, if this paper this past week would go all over the world and see the items that you put in there, and it is all over the world, but they don't know how to, I guess, to look for it, because it is, you're streaming it, aren't you?
Yes. Well, it's unfortunate. A lot of people say, well, you publish bad news, but I think we have a right to know who lives next door to us. We have the right to know, who our children, grandchildren play, and that is unfortunate that this news, it has to be put out there. But I mean, it is what it is.
But I said that there was a common thing with most of these, probably 8 out of 10 are all Bible Belt states.
Yes, and I sit in criminal court. I sit in criminal court every month, and there is a lot of sex offenders that plead guilty. That relatively, well, no sex offense is a minor offense, but relatively minor. They plead down, and I don't even put them in a paper. You would not. You have to come down and just sit down and just listen to this. I mean, it's almost sickening.
But it ain't almost, it is sickening. I mean, it's just sickening. Now, these people don't go to jail hardly at all, but you smoke a marijuana cigarette, you're going to go to jail.
Well, a lot of it, and in past 12 years, what I have found out, if sometimes district attorney, they think they have a weak case against the offender. They rather to plead him down to a lesser offense rather than chance him walking away, without conviction, going to a trial.
The reason they take it down is, okay, if he walks, it's going to cost us money, and if he walks, but if I'm closed down, I can give him parole, and I'm going to get $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever dollars from him. But if I take this to court, he's not going to have he's going to have a public defender, and it's going to cost us. So which one does the?
We're paying. The society is paying one way or another.
That's exactly right.
And don't tell me. I mean, it is money racket. It is all about money, and I don't care what anybody says. It is all about money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for some of you who don't know, this is the man that owns the Christian Journal. And you didn't care for me telling that, did you?
Excuse me?
You didn't care for me telling who you are, did you?
No. I mean, nothing like I can hide without my accent or with my accent. Anyway, good show, R.L.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But what I'm saying, folks, that I don't understand it. 8 out of 10, maybe, I don't know where Delaware stands. I don't know whether they're more Democrat or Republican. But these states, that's the most dangerous states in America, is in the Bible Belt. Now, I've talked to several people about this, and they've advised me to not say nothing. But it's been on my mind. It bothers me. Let me see who. Well, this has been calling a lot. I need to trying to get in. Let me get it. You're on the air.
Ariel, I wanted to say that I applaud Mr. Sawinski for putting that out in the paper for the public to know. I applaud you for bringing it out. I mean, it is. I agree with him. It's the money racket. Just give them probation. They've got to pay every week, every 2 weeks. Send them to prison.
I'd rather see them in prison as I would see somebody using even heroin, because you know what? That pill that everybody uses anymore, It's heroin. Do you know that? What's that strongest pill?
Is it heroin or?
No, it's like you, for pain.
Morphine or?
No. Why am I doing? What is it? Why am I? It's the real strong pain pill that doctors give when you get you're supposed to be dying or in hospice. Somebody call me and tell me real quick. I don't know what, but that is just heroin, and heroin is probably the most addictive drug that we have in this part of the country right now, and they're being handed out by the handsful to older patients.
Is it
Oxycontin.
Oxycontin.
Oxycontin. Oxycontin is heroin.
I didn't know that.
It's heroin, and that's the reason why right now heroin is the most addictive drug. There's more people on heroin around here than you can imagine. Appreciate your call.
Okay,
thank you. Bye-bye. You're on the air.
Hello, Ariel. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm finally thinking it was oxy.
Yes, I couldn't think of it to save me. I'm getting old.
You were talking about those statistics, but isn't Tennessee ranked #1 in violent crimes?
No, it's now they've got South Carolina, Alaska.
Well, Alaska, I can understand Alaska.
And I believe it's Louisiana. Tennessee is and then Florida. Tennessee's number 5 right now. That's what was on the computer yesterday.
Yeah,
but Tennessee is.
That was a different. There's a different. You got violent crimes. You've got dangerous statement violent crimes.
Right.
I thought at one time it was #1.
Tennessee was #1.
Okay, now to answer Mr. Henson's question, that he couldn't understand why all this trouble in the Catholic Church. That's because you do understand. I'm going to write a column on it this week. You understand that a lot of people with this, it is a sickness. If you're a pedophile, basically it is a sickness. You know, they've diagnosed it, whatever it is. A lot of men would go into the priesthood thinking that God would take it away from them. That by praying and dedicating their life to God and to Christ, that they would be relieved of it. But since I had an experience, and I know a lot of men that were in the priesthood, a man who was a heterosexual told me, no, it doesn't take away your sexuality. It doesn't take away your problems. You know, you make these vows and you keep to them. But pedophiles would go into the Catholic Church to hide. And there was no screening process to weed these people out. Matter of fact, they would weed more gay people out than they would weed the pedophiles, because a pedophile does not have a particular signature that you can see, that you can know. So they would go into the haven of the church thinking that they would be relieved of that illness, that sickness. And once the church, I mean, that was endemic in the church for years. So they moved them on. They hid them because of the scandal. And of course now they've had to pay out, not millions, billions of dollars in fines.
Right.
That's why a lot of men with that affliction, do you realize the recidivism rate for pedophiles is about 98%? There is no cure for it. They've tried chemical castration. There is no cure. And a lot of people think that pedophiles are gay. They're not.
No.
The statistics of homosexuals is so low that it hardly rates. And of course women, it's extremely low with women. This has been diagnosed as a sickness. And then some children, because of being molested, they then will in turn molest. It's not about sex, RL. It's about power. They groom these children.
It's about sickness to me.
Huh?
About sickness to me.
It is a sickness, but it's about, most of these men are ineffectual to a point with other human beings, but with children, they groom these children. And you have it, it's endemic in the South, and it came over on the Mayflower. This wasn't something that just started yesterday. I mean, this is something that's been in the world forever. but it came over in the Mayflower. It's something that is throughout the United States.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. And I'm not going to answer it tonight anyway. But what group of people is
what makes pedophiles?
No. Right now, I'm thinking I better not say it. But if it comes, I might say it in a minute. Right now, I just better hold off it because it's too late.
What do you mean, what group of people? Religious people?
I'm just talking about women.
Well, women, the rate of women being sexual is very low in the
Well,
it's very
what
low.
group of people is?
It's heterosexual males, straight men, and like I say, most of them are
discriminated against. But what group of people is more discriminated against than any other group of people in this world?
Well, it doesn't seem to be sexual offenders, does it?
No.
No. And why not? Because we've let now different states have different rules. In California,
I just wonder if somebody else could to tell me that. Well, okay, go ahead.
You go to prison, but when you come out of prison, they put you in a mental hospital. You know, you get out of prison, they put you in the mental hospital. But around here and around the South a lot, these sexual offenders are put out on probation. Like you say, they pay. It's about money. It's a lot of it is about money. If you'd have to build. I mean, this little facility they have down here would not hold these people.
Yeah.
But they are like a disease.
Okay. Well, let me take another call or two.
Disease. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You're on the air.
Hey, big guy. How you doing?
Oh, finally got in, huh?
Hey, all those celebrities, you know, these celebrity women,
Uh-huh.
are 60s and 70s, and they all got these 25, 30-year-old boyfriends.
Uh-huh.
Well, that means Aunt Hester's got problems. Her boyfriend ain't been born yet.
Oh, God.
Hey, I think the most prejudice against people on earth are the Jews. Anti-Semitism is growing by leaps and bounds as Muslims infiltrate Western European countries.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you when you get through.
They are really strong anti-Jewish, and the White House is full of Muslims right now, and their foreign policy has become very anti-Israel, anti-Jewish.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to disagree with you, and I want to let you think about this one.
Okay.
I would say it's women, and I'm going to go for another call, okay?
Women?
It's most discriminated, and I'll tell you why someday, okay?
Okay, you want me to get off here?
Yeah. No, if you got something to talk about other than talking about Aunt Hester's boyfriend hadn't been born yet.
But we got a new thing. We got a new school board or school superintendent going to, I think, take his position tomorrow. And I'm real disappointed that they didn't open this up. After 25 years of watching the school system here, with all these doctorate degrees and EDS degrees and master's degrees, not one single creative, innovative methodology has been implemented in our school system in the 25 years that I've lived here. And I'm afraid the two finalists who are going to be selected, one of them is a cool dude who rides a Harley. The other one, he was an assistant, and he's been in the school system his entire life. And these people have provided nothing in the way of originality, original methodologies, or creative teaching techniques that would bring our children up to the level they should be brought up to. and there's all kinds of things out there they could do, but they refuse to do anything. They're scared to death. That's why they love Poston. He sat in his office and didn't do nothing. He never tried to get people to improve their teaching methodologies or techniques. And he was loved. Everybody loved him. He was a great guy. He just sit there and let the boat just go wherever it wanted to go, wherever the stream took it. Okay. And I just, we're going to get a new guy. It's probably going to last a long time. And if we don't start implementing these new technologies...
Well, you do know it's Larry Neffner, don't you?
Who?
It's Larry Nedford.
He was the assistant superintendent under Poston.
Well, he's the new superintendent.
So he got it. So my motorcycle rider didn't get it.
Okay. Appreciate your call.
Okay. Well, take your other call. I appreciate you taking mine.
Okay. I told this guy to call me back, and he has. So
okay.
It's your buddy. You're on the air.
Hey, Mr. Gibb, I didn't mean to cut in on Hazel Valley.
Well,
there's a couple of subjects that I think I don't know how to approach them, but it has to do with guns in greenways and parks. I guess you know what I'm leading up to.
Yes, I do.
I was Rohara, and I can't think of her name most of the time, so I just call her Roseanne Rohara. She's been totally against guns in greenway because they've never had any whatever or so forth. Now, the lady lost her life yesterday.
Right.
In a park over at Knoxville.
Right.
Now, what do you think would have been the chances had that lady been armed or someone else nearby who was willing to stand up for her? Do you think she would have come out in a lot better condition?
In this particular case, I wouldn't know, because this guy, 24-year-old, attacked without warning. I mean, just bam, 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 and it's according to where he hit her at or whatever. Because you wouldn't, to me, I wouldn't, if I was running through the park, I wouldn't be running with a gun in my hand.
No, that's right. And that's what went through my head is how many seconds would you have? Now, where we took our training, they said a person with a gun can cover 18 feet and have you killed before you can get a weapon drawn if you're not already got your state of mind. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
By the time you go through the decision process as to what to do. But anyhow, I thought that would have been interesting. You don't never know how it would go, but at least a person might have a fighting chance.
I hear you, but I really do believe that more people would die if everybody was carrying guns. Because how many people I know that there's times in my life that I would have killed someone if I'd have had a gun present just at a certain instant. Somebody would have died.
When you say people would have died, a lot of people, just like this guy right here, if it had to been a choice between his life and that lady's life, it seems to me like the thing they've done was been punch his card and send him to wherever he was going. Anyhow,
I know.
We could discuss this all day, but let me make one statement right here, and I'll hang up.
No problem.
On our education system, we've had an education system for 100 or maybe 200 years. And it would appear to me that by now we would have education down to an art. Everything about it, you could take the most intelligent mathematicians, scientists, all this stuff, make videos and the whole 9 yards, questions, answers, and whatever, and our students could be educated. You follow what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I don't totally agree with you, because it's got to start at home.
Well, I understand. I understand that. It does. But we have drawn up the many rules, and the thing, and let me go back to what I said now. The principle of the thing, if we can't figure it out in say, 200 years, how to educate, we're never going to be able to do it.
I agree with you.
And if we have the technology, which we do have the technology to do about anything, this education thing makes no sense whatsoever. Like I said, I go back to the same thing. We got smart people who could put together a system that would work in 200 years. I appreciate
what I'll do, I'll make it reading, writing, and arithmetic. If you can read, and if you can write, and you can communicate, and you can make sure that your money is spent properly, everything's going to be okay.
These are the key items. What we've done, we've lost track of what the purpose of education is and what the purpose of school is. Right now, in my opinion, one of the major priorities of schools is to win that SEC or whatever else, and we try to get our schools larger and larger so that we can have a bigger pool for a better football team or a basketball team.
You're agreeing with Ann Hester. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, sir. You
Thank
have
you.
a safe one.
Thanks. Okay. The person's been trying to get in for so long. Give me a call right back, and this will be the last call of the night. You're on the air.
Hey, Ariel, I don't know where Hazel Valley's had his head buried in the sand at, but I have been involved in the past 7-8 years at the school system. I have seen morale boosted up with the teachers. The more the education that the children are getting, it's been amazing. The children are glad to, excited about getting up to go to school, and they have pep rallies and do things for the children. Things that wasn't going on 10, 12 years ago.
So you're saying Donnie Poston has done a pretty good job?
Oh, yes. Yes, I hate to see him leave.
Okay. Appreciate your call.
Okay.
Gotta go. Folks, don't forget the La Follette Indoor Flea Market. Tell them that Ariel sent you and Ron's golf cart. Now, he's going to get some golf carts. He's looking. Hey, he's sold out, folks. Business good for golf carts. Okay, got Mr. Kidd. I can handle you for about 30 seconds, buddy. I gotta go. You're on the air.
I'm sitting here looking at the TCAP scores from last year. They went down in Campbell County at every school.
Okay, appreciate your call.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll be back next week and hope you all tune in. We'll see you next week.